Hello and welcome to another video tutorial from Easy IT Training. My name's Ivor David and I'm going to show you how to create a Google account. So you open up your browser. It could be any browser meaning Internet Explorer. It could be Edge, which is the new browser for Windows 10. It could be Firefox. Any browser you go into, the first thing you want to do is go to the address bar up here. And this is where you're going to type in the web address for Google, okay? Because that's where we need to get to in order to start creating an account. So I want to click up here, but I click once. I try to tell my students this, not everyone listens, but if you click once, it will highlight like that. And that means you don't have to press delete or backspace or anything. You just start typing, and whatever you type will replace whatever's been highlighted in the address bar. So I'm going to type google.com. And then I'm going to press enter. And there you go. See? It just takes you straight to the Google website. Now we're here. The cursor's flashing in the search box. Can you see that? Right here. And in order to create the account, you need to attempt to sign in. So go to sign in, and you'll see all the different accounts that I have, but we're not going to use any of these ones. We're going to use a new account, another account, okay? So use another account. It's going to try to sign you in. I've signed in before, but we need to go to more options. We go to more options because we're trying to create a new account. So go to more options, and there you go. It says create account. Yeah? And you click on create account, and then it gives you a box where you can fill in all the details you need. I'm going to close this off. I'm going to go all the way back and start again, just so you see. My class knows what I'm like. I like to go back because you see me do it, but I want you to predict what I'm going to do with each step. Remember, the first thing I said you need to do is get yourself to Google. So the address bar, I click once. I don't press delete. You can if you want, but I'm going to start typing, and I'm going to type google.com and press enter. Now that you're at Google, you can see the cursor's flashing in the search box, and it's waiting for us to do a Google search because it is a search engine after all. But we want to create a new account. So to do that, we click on the sign in button right in the top corner here. Click on sign in, and if you've signed in with previous accounts, it will give you a list of all those accounts, and it can go on for ages. You can start to remove them, but I choose not to at the moment. And I'm going to go to use another account because I want to create one. So I'm going to click on use another account. And again, it's going to try and allow me to sign in with a previous account that I've signed in. And I've done that with this previous email address. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to more options. As soon as I click more options, it says, okay, obviously you want to create a new account. So I'm going to click on create a new account, and look what happens. I get the account form that I need to fill in. It's very short, very straightforward. So let's talk about the form. Form asks what, six-ish questions, about six questions, which is pretty short for a form. It's pretty straightforward. You put in your name, so I'm going to put in Ivor, and then I put in my last name, David. All right, and then you're going to choose your username. Obviously, I've been adding names for my students and whatnot. I'm going to put in another version of my virtual student, which is Hal, but I'm going to put Hal 2, just so it gets created. So I'm going to put HALDEITT, then put 2. There you go. And that's my virtual student. And I want to put in a password, so I need to create a password. So there's a standard password. All my students know what it is. I'll put it in anyway. I'll put this one in again. There you go. So you put in a password, and then it's asking for a date of birth. I tend to not put in my actual date of birth because I don't know, I feel a bit funny about that. So I'll put in a made up date of birth, but you still can send me a present if you like. And 1938, yeah. And my gender, well, I'm male. I'm not going to mess about with that. Now, I'm not going to put a phone number in or a current email address. I'm going to, and the United Kingdom is the location, so I choose United Kingdom. It's there already, and I click on next. So you type in your first name, your last name. You choose an email address that you want. You need to make it unique. So most of my emails have EITT, Easy IT Training at the end, just to make it unique. So I made that unique. That's the reason why it worked first time. If you put an email address in that somebody else has, then it'll get rejected and ask you to try again. It's almost like having the registration number for a car. Two people can't have the same registration, and it's the same thing here. Then you've got to create a password, create a safe one, try and put a capital in there, a couple of numbers, and some lowercase, even a symbol if you can. That's safe password making. Do not put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it'll probably get rejected. And also, don't put the date of birth of the one you love. It doesn't make sense. Again, you become bait for hackers. Date of birth, I tend not to put my date of birth in there. I put in or around my date of birth only because it helps me remember, so I know what lie I told. Gender, well, there's no problem me putting gender. I'm male. Telephone number, I try to avoid this. And current email address, well, I don't need to put that in there. And my location, it knows where I am. So that's it. With the phone number, sometimes if I click next now, it will just give me the account. But sometimes it wants to make sure that I'm not what they call a robot, which is like a program going around just collecting email accounts. So it'll ask me, ask me for a phone number that it could send a text to for verification. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let me just try this now. Click on next and see what happens. So far, so good. Ask me to read the privacy terms. I've read them all. I've read every single word, and I could tell you it's absolutely safe. No, I didn't read it all, but you should. And then look, it's let me straight in. It's given me the account straight away. Now look, it gives you a few tips and lets you know what you should do next. It says to access the apps, check notifications, and edit your account. So that's what all this is about. Oh, and that's a little wry little smile there. I didn't really notice that. I just thought it was an arrow, but now I see it's a little smile to say well done. So you can see I've created my second HAL email address or Google account, and it's got my initial I for Ivor up here. When I click on it, it shows who's logged in, and I can sign out right there. Okay, so it signs you in immediately. The very first thing I do when I go into a new Google account is click on the Google Apps menu, which is this 9-dot cube that you have here. I click on it and it gives you a menu of all the Google apps that are available. I like to go straight to Google Drive. It's just my start off point. Other people probably go to Calendar or they might go to their Gmail, but I go to Google Drive. And it takes me straight to Google Drive, and there's that familiar screen that I start my students off in. In the next exercise, we'll be talking about how to log in to Google Drive from fresh, from the beginning, and upload files and whatnot. So there should be about 6 or 7 videos that will help you with that. And look here, it tells us that we've got 15 gigabytes of storage for our photos, which I think is really quite good, to be honest with you. If you're just the average Joe like me, or my students, you really and truly, you don't really need more than 15 gigabytes. But if you want more, then create another account and you'll have 30. So I click on the X, I don't want to see all the adverts, and there we go. And that's how we create a new Google account. Look, see? How to. This has been Easy IT Training, and I'm Ivor David. I'll see you on the next video.